it will make a lot of difference, disturbs this entire layout. That is the reason what we need to do is we need to just display, add or remove the content without using any HTML layout. Then what we can do is we can replace this div. We can replace this div with the ng template. We can use ng template. I can replace the div with ng template. ng template is used dynamically by Angular as a container to handle your elements, to add elements and to remove elements. So ng template will not disturb your HTML structure. So if you take a HTML container, then it will have effect on HTML. So without disturbing the HTML structure, so you want to deal with some area, then you can use this container. There are several other containers. We have ng container, we have ng template. So what is difference between them? We will discuss when we use those containers situation wise. Currently, ng template is a container which is used for conditionally handling the content in the page. In the page, if you want to conditionally handle any content, then you have to define. Let's see the design again. This time I replaced the div with the ng template inside the box, and I click on show preview, and it should add the content and display the content here. Add and display the content here. So you can see here, so generally, so the div, and here you can see there is a container option defined here. But important is currently it is not displaying. So why? Because whenever we are using a template, whenever you are using a template, it is an Angular template. On an Angular template, the conditions are defined. The conditions are defined, means the structural directives are defined as properties. That means a structural directive is defined as property. That means what you have to do is, here you need to configure this as a property. As a property. Structural directives will work as properties on Angular containers. And the structural directives are used as some normal attributes on HTML. Property means what we have to do in the square brace, we have to use ngIF. ngIF. We are defining that ngIF as a property. And through ng template, ngIF, we are using some Boolean value, Boolean option here. We are configuring that. That means it has to use a property like technique for handling the data. Property. That means when you are using ngIF with a template, I click on the show preview, then you can see the image comes. And here in the design, you can see, so the second box, in the second box, directly the image comes without any HTML. Earlier, to handle this, I have to use one more div inside it. That will disturb the HTML layout several times. Suppose you are showing something in a toolbar, you are showing something in a grid like, and you are using additional HTML element. Obviously, when you remove an HTML element, it will disturb the alignments. To avoid that, we can use this container. Again, hide preview. then the image is hidden. Image is hidden. This looks better than when compared to using a div or a span or any element that also we use, but this looks more better because without disturbing the layouts and alignments, so it will add or remove the element in that particular area. That is the key point we need to understand. So technically, how we define this, how we can handle this. So we can conditionally use a container ng template. So here ng template, template uses the structural directives as properties. Structural directives as properties. That means syntax. So we need to define. So ng template, and ngIF, and here we need to define a Boolean value, Boolean. So true or false, and ng template. We can keep our content inside it. So your content inside it. There are different containers actually. We have ng template, we have ng container, we have ng component. We will discuss difference between them, how to handle and use them. Just example is we have to in the example replace the div with the ng template for image, replace the div with ng template for image. So what you have to do is, so in the other box you have to just keep this logic. You need to keep this logic. We need to configure and define this logic. So this will be very much helpful later when we are dealing with complex design in the page. Because when we are designing complex design in the page, the design should not be disturbed by adding or removing your elements. That generally happens actually. So better go with this ng template, right? Next important, after understanding how to deal with this. So we use ngIF with an asterisk while working with on HTML. On Angular directives, on Angular dynamic elements, we directly use as properties, right? Next important is we have some attributes. We have some attributes for ngIF. So we have some attributes for ngIF. ngIF directive is provided with some attributes. So what are the attributes for ngIF? That means you can conditionally handle the code blocks, the HTML blocks, conditionally handle the HTML blocks by using ngIF attributes. So it provides two important attributes. One is else, another one is then. Else and then. So important is actually then comprises of